Simply Tammy.
It's a blessing that I'm here, I'm alive. No, I never ever have to cry, cause it's something I know will always work for me on my side. Not a thing I even have to fight, All things work together for my good. Life speaks if you listen, it might be sound. Watch the love come alive. Sharing the truth that inspires, Sharing the truth that inspires, Sharing the truth that inspires. All things work together for my good. Life speaks if you listen, it might be sound. Watch the joy come alive, watch the joy come alive. Sharing the truth that inspires.
Inspired to love, inspired to grow, inspired to heal, inspired to live. Simply Tammy.
Hello, welcome back for another episode of the Simply Tammy Show. I am your host, Simply Tammy, and as always, thank you for joining me. Thank you for your continued support. And most importantly, yes, I did say most importantly, thank you for subscribing to the YouTube channel. So if that thank you doesn't apply to you because you have not done it, you can earn that thank you by just pausing right now, going and click on subscribe, and come back and picking up where you left off in the video. Seriously though, your support means so much, and that you joining in the number of subscribers helps get the exposure, not just of my channel, but most importantly for me, the people who I get to sit down and have these conversations with, because I believe they have stories that need to be heard. Not only need to be heard, but they are an encouragement and inspiration to others. So this segment, if I had to put it in one of my pre-titled segments, I think I would probably categorize it in the Life Speak segment. And typically those are done on the blue wall under the Life Speak sign. However, this guest is special. I have known them all their life. And they are an amazing daughter, friend, goddaughter, sister, now a flourishing adult as the assistant solicitor, one of the assistant solicitors in Orangeburg County. And I'm honored and proud to call her my goddaughter of 28 years, Miss Gabrielle Williams. Hey, Gabby.
Hey.
So yeah, we were chatting and you were like, hey,
Yeah.
I want to talk on the podcast. I said,
Yeah.
let's do it. So
Yes.
we're here.
We're here.
Thank you for saying you want to do this. I'm like, you're probably my youngest guest ever.
This is great.
You're probably the guest that knows me the most ever.
Mm-hmm.
So like, you're a first of many.
Yeah.
So what made you want to come sit on the couch with me?
I don't know. I wanted to get on the mic. I don't even know what I'm going to say, but yeah.
Okay.
I had to get on the mic.
Well, I'll help guide you with what to say with the questions I ask. So I want to kind of start off with an experience you and I shared over 15 years ago. And it's like, whether or not it had the same impact on you or not would be interesting to hear. But on your 13th birthday, me and your mom, well, at your request, because you wanted to go to the varsity in Atlanta. Mm-hmm. So we ended up making it a day trip, and found some excursions, so to speak, for us to do while we were in that area. And there were two exhibits that were in town. One of them is the Bodies exhibit, and I think that still exists here in the U.S. At different times throughout the year. And the other one, which unfortunately is no longer in the U.S. but was super, super impactful, is called Dialogue in the Dark. So for those of you that don't know what that is or may never heard of it, you can Google it to get information. But in a nutshell, it is an experience of living your life as a day in the life of someone who's visually impaired. So they break you up into these groups, and you go through probably about 6 or 7 different scenarios, if I remember correctly. And me and Gabby will talk about it. So her memory might be a little bit sharper than mine on how many we went through. But it is in complete darkness. Like, you can't see your own hand in front of your face. You can't see the person that is beside you. And it heightens your other senses because your sight is impaired and it's giving you the experience that they have. So for me, it's just something that will probably live in my memory bank forever, just because it was such an impactful experience. I want to hear from you, being 13 at the time. That was like so long ago. 15. Oh my God. 15
That was a long
and a half
time
years ago.
Yikes.
Crazy. What do you remember about that, and how was it for you?
I think the one I remember the most, I think we had to do grocery shopping.
Yes.
And I had no idea how to tell what was what, where anything was located. But the biggest thing about being in the dark that way is how amplified everything else is. The sound is amplified, like trying to figure out what things feel like is amplified. And I don't think we experience our senses like that because we rely so heavily on our sight.
Yeah.
So it was actually really interesting.
It was. And I think for me, at the time going through it, it was kind of, for lack of a better term, it's kind of freaked out because I can't think of a time in my life. At that time, 15 years ago, I would have been 35, that I had been in complete darkness. Like, they were probably getting ready to turn 35 because your birthday is before mine. So 34 at the time, to have been in complete darkness like that. And even though I was with Gabby and her mom, we were with a group of people. So you touching people, you might think you touching the person you came with, but you don't know it because it is complete darkness. So it teaches you how to rely on community in a different way, because we all had to get through there. And I remember we did the grocery store experience where they had us touching different things to try to figure out what we wanted to buy. We did one of them, like going to the park, and you could try to feel where grass or things were in the park. And then there was another simulation. I remember they had us crossing the street, which I did not know until that time, that certain traffic lights, we can see the signal when it's time to go. For people who are visually impaired, the traffic signals make a sound to let them know. And they simulated that in that experience. Never knew that. And then the final stage of it, we ended up like in a cafe type experience where we ordered something to drink and had to drink it in the dark. It was interesting because it was probably as close as putting yourself in someone else's shoes. Yeah. So I think it's unfortunate. I don't know why it's no longer here in the U.S., but it's one of those things that if you could recommend somebody else doing.
100%.
Yeah. Do you think you walked away from that, like, with something that stick? Like I said, I don't think I'll ever forget it. Do you think you walked away from that with something that will stick with you?
At that age, probably not. If I think about it now, if I think about, how everything was so amplified and I couldn't see anything, I mean, like, that's profoundly meaningful. That even when something doesn't look right and everything around you sounds like it's going crazy or you don't know what's going on, you're still fine. And everything is still okay. And like you said, the learning about how relying on community in that, because we didn't know those people. Yeah. Pretty sure we had to talk to them, move around with them. We're going through the park, a grocery store, or crossing the street. Yeah. So at that age, I probably was just like, this is a great experience. This is so cool. I don't think I got life lessons like I could have if I was older. I think I do remember the other experience, like looking at the body. Yeah, the bodies. Yeah, that was really cool. And now I don't say you're getting on my last nerve because of it, because we learned that we have so many nerves in our body that it's impossible for anyone to get on the last nerve. Yeah. So now I don't say that anymore. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So the bodies exhibit, I think that may still exist. At least I know, because I looked up Dialogue in the Dark again, because I would, just because you're in a different phase of life now, it's like I wouldn't mind experiencing it again just to see but it's, again, that one's no longer in the U.S. I think the bodies exhibit is, and the bodies exhibit is like, they have,
And I think they are real samples of, some of them are real samples. Some of them I think are 3D images of the human body and our cellular makeup and our muscular makeup and our nervous system. So it's really an inside look inside the human body. And it gives examples of like healthy organs versus non-healthy organs. They both were really, really good. That was a phenomenal weekend.
That was good. Yeah.
So, you were 13 at the time, matriculated through high school, got out and went to undergrad. So, me knowing you all your life, like literally all her life, like I was in the room when she came out, so beautiful. Never forget that either. You always wanted to be a lawyer. At what age did you, I say always, because as long as I can remember, but at what age do you remember saying, I want to be a lawyer, and where did that desire come from?
I was in the 7th grade.
Okay.
I know that for sure. Prior to that, I wanted to be a forensic scientist.
Okay.
I actually talked to your brother, Coach Stan.
Okay.
And I was telling him what I wanted to do at one point, and I talked about being a forensic scientist, and he was like, there are bodies, and there's a smell. And I was like, oh, a smell, you say? Okay.
Are you serious?
Yes. But he's also the person that I told I wanted to be an attorney. And I forgot when it was I talked to him about it. And he said, you actually didn't just give me like a fake career choice. You said that's what you wanted to do, and that's what you did. But it was the 7th grade. Mm-hmm. And I watched Perry Mason with my grandma. We watched Matlock, watching Murder, She Wrote, though she wasn't an attorney. It was just that getting involved in the criminal justice stuff and looking at how law works, the same way with like watching Law and Order and CSI and being very intrigued with the criminal side of things. But when I first said it, I was going to be like a corporate girly. I was going to do contracts, wear the suits, be in like boardrooms and things like that until I got to high school and I got to take more law-like classes. So I took family law, took corporate law, took a basic intro to law, and I realized corporate law may not be for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Was it just not as exciting as you thought it would be, or what about corporate law that you said this might not be for me?
I don't think it was that exciting.
Okay.
But I didn't decide what type of attorney I wanted to be until law school.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So between once you graduated high school and you did your undergrad at the College of Charleston, because of the wonderful financial experience you had with undergrad, and I'll let you talk a little bit more about that, you were inspired to write a book. And guys, I literally went in my office today, pulled her book off my bookshelf, put it in the living room, and left it at home. So I will find an image of it and insert it in this video so you can see it, but you'll hear about it, get the title of it. It is a wealth of information for anyone getting ready to graduate and enter college. But tell me and us, I know because I was able to fortunately help with the book too. But yeah, why'd you write it, and what was your experience that said, I need to share this?
I didn't want to write it at first, but between...
We never want to. Trust me, we never want to write the book.
Between you and a few other people just talking about the experience of going through undergrad without having any student loans. And thankfully, firstly, thank God, but also my mom was a huge help in making sure that I could get through undergrad. But a big chunk of being able to do it was getting scholarships and kind of putting my feet to the ground to say, I want to go to school. I don't know how to pay for school. The big motivator, though, is this is a book I say is for people who didn't have someone to be able to tell them, this is what you need to be thinking about when you say, I want to go off to school. So
with you saying that part of it, you know, I'm saying high school seniors, but probably maybe 10th grade or so when a person is deciding that they know they want to.
Right.
So don't wait till their 12th grade year to pick it up. No. Okay.
I think the best time, if you already know freshman year, sophomore year, you want to go off to school, it's good to start planning then. If you have a good guidance counselor at your school, I think they're your biggest resources. I know mine was, there were some iffy opinions, but it worked for me. And she gave me access to scholarships that nobody else was really applying for, things that kind of just sat stagnant and people could apply for, but they just weren't. And so I think the earlier you start, the better you can be when it's talking about planning and preparing to go off to school. Because there's nothing that really prepares you for that new journey of being a freshman on a college campus. But at least if you have some prep and some idea of what you're getting yourself into before you get there, I think you're better prepared, even though the transition's still a little weird.
Okay. So if someone wants to pick up this resource, since I don't have it in front of me, tell us some of the things that they will find as tools or treasures in that book. And like, you literally came through all 4 years of school with no student loans. Yeah. So tell us what's in the book.
Well, the first chapter is, I know by heart, is pretty much finding your why. And I remember talking to as someone who probably was like a mentor at the time, and it was always, why do you want to do what you want to do? And there's always that surface level that you kind of start out with. Oh, I want to go to school because I want to be a lawyer. Why? Oh, I want to go to school to be a lawyer because I want to help people. Okay, why? Specifically, why be a lawyer? To help people, because you can help people in all kinds of ways. And I think knowing your why roots you in continuing on the journey when it gets really hard. Because one thing about undergrad is, if you are a high achieving individual in high school, undergrad humbles you in a very interesting way. And you're going to want to throw in the towel and give up. But if you remember why you're there, you're going to work through it. There's another chapter about picking a school, what to look for, what is a best fit for you. As much as a school is trying to match you to their demographics, the school has to fit you. Now, it's the same way with finding a job too. You're not just being interviewed, you have to interview the job. I talked about paying for school, which is one of the biggest things. And I talked about the actual cost. I think people see the sticker price, which is tuition, and they forget how much more money it takes to go to school, whether it's books, whether it's meal plans, housing, transportation. Those are all things that I didn't know to think about when I was going to school. I was like, I'm going to go there and we're going to have a good time. That's it. That's all. But there's a lot that goes into planning for school. And I think by far my favorite chapter is the last chapter, which is just the advice that I wish I had when I had stepped onto campus back in 2015.
Okay. So you guys heard all of that, those wisdom nuggets. And, you know, I'm super proud that because you did it in 3 years, right? Was it 3.5 years that you did your undergrad? I don't feel like you went.
Oh, no, I finished a semester early, which I think I talked about that in the book too, taking courses in high school that can transfer over in college, so that way you're in school less time. Okay.
Okay. Yep. So you were able to go through, fast track it, so to speak, graduate, and you waited like 6 months in. You waited a semester before going to law school?
I had somewhere about 6 or 8 months before law school actually started.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how did you choose the law school you decided you want to go to?
I had one out-of-state school, and South Carolina only has 2 in-state law schools. And so I applied to all 3 of those. I didn't apply to a bunch of schools. I kind of had an idea. I did not get into the out-of-state school, and I got into both of the schools in South Carolina. I visited both schools. I got to meet some of the faculty and staff, and ultimately I chose University of South Carolina just because it felt like the best fit. And I'd gone to college in Charleston, so I'd already been in Charleston for 3.5 years.
Okay. So you said you only applied to 3. What was it about those 3 was it because of the area of law that you wanted to study in, or was it something just about those 3 schools that said, well, these are the 3 that I want to target?
It was just something about the schools. I think it was a law school affair we went to in undergrad. Okay. At South Carolina School of Law. Okay. And I probably met with, I'll say the school, Williams and Mary did me bad. Maybe they didn't, because everything worked out the way that it was supposed to. Because the journey post law school and law school has been phenomenal in the effect that it's had. But I didn't get in there. I got into Charleston. I got into Columbia. It was just a matter of picking which one. Okay. And I did reach out to the folks at South Carolina, and I said, hey, but can y'all actually give me more money though? Because you kind of gave me a scholarship, but it didn't feel like enough. And I did get a few thousand more, so I was like, okay, cool, we can do this.
Yeah. I love that. So once you said your law school experience was phenomenal, and I remember some of those days of You were always reading.
Always.
You were always reading, like, oh, I'm just reading.
Yeah. Yeah.
So other than reading, how was your law school experience?
God, it's, during, I thought it was the worst time of my life. Outside of it, I'm like, man, I really would go back to law school.
Really?
Yeah. I had so much more free time. You're with your friends a lot more. You feel like you have a little bit more of a fixed community. So it's not so much of like, hey, when are you free? Or I've got a million things going on, so I don't have the capacity to hang out with my friends or whatever. But outside of reading, I was hanging out. I did mock trial for 2 years. I was not going to do mock trial at all. I was like very adamant. I'm not doing that. But I did it. And that has been the biggest thing. Like learning to be a good trial advocate helps me with what I do now. The connections, the network. South Carolina has a very small bar. It seems like we're all spread out, but it's very small. Everybody knows everybody. So once you get to meet people, no matter where they go, they remember you. And if you need to dip in and be like, hey, I need a favor, you can call them. So that made law school really great.
Okay. So when you finished, were you nervous about taking the bar? Did you feel prepared? Did you beef up with some extra study materials? What was the process like? Okay, now I got this degree. If I want to practice, I got to take and pass this test.
The mindset 100% was one and done. I didn't have any other alternative. I wasn't going to take it again.
You were not?
I wasn't going to take it again. It was a one and done. You're going to have to pass it the first time because we're not doing this again. And the thing about studying for the bar is you lock in. Everything else just disappears. It doesn't exist. Your friends technically don't exist. Phones don't exist. Social media doesn't exist. You are stuck in a bar bubble. And you don't start out pulling 8, 9, 10-hour days of studying. You have to like ease your way into it. But I took maybe a week and a half between graduation and starting to study for the bar. So from like mid-May all the way till I took it at the end of July, I was just in bar world.
Locked in.
Yeah.
Okay.
You follow whatever program you use, whether it's Barbary, it's Kaplan, whatever the material is, you kind of lock in. My biggest thing that helped me in law school, because we did closed book tests post-COVID, is you have to memorize everything. So I like to write it down. I like to brain dump. Then I just kept talking the law out loud to an empty study room until my brain is like, yeah, we absolutely have this concept. One of my law school bestie, Rebecca, she was a person that I could kind of decompress after studying, and we could give the ideas back and forth to each other to be like, do you understand this, and does that make sense? Or she was just my person to be like, we can't talk bar, so if we just sit here in silence, that's fine too. So I think that was helpful. And yeah, you just have to, the biggest hurdle, I think, for me, when I walked in there, I said, we just have to be one and done. And I was so scared and I was anxious. But as soon as I opened that booklet, I was like, we just got to go for it. And you throw everything at the wall and hope for the best. And anyone who, we say this all the time, anyone who walks out of the bar exam and they're like, oh yeah, I passed that. No, you didn't. No, you didn't.
So you walk out thinking, oh my God.
Absolutely failed that. I was like, there's no way I answered those multiple choice questions correctly. There's no way those essays are complete. There's no way I analyzed the law correctly. No, I guess I'll be back.
And how soon after taking it do you find out whether or not you pass?
You take it at the end of July, and we didn't find out till October. Yes.
So
and
how
yes.
is the waiting period?
That's that once a while I'm waiting. I'm getting strong. No, you're literally stuck. Just, you got to work. You don't try not to think about it. You know the results will come. You don't know exactly when. And other states get them before South Carolina. So you see all these other people like, got my bar score, and you're just waiting. You're waiting. And then on, I want to say like a Monday or Tuesday of the week, the scores come out. South Carolina Bar puts out an announcement on the website to say bar results will be available on Friday at this time. And they were all like, okay, Friday. A lot of people take their Fridays off. I think I worked a half day because I was freaking out the whole time. And then you're waiting. I think I was on FaceTime with my mom and my grandma. And I'm waiting for the website to load, waiting. And I'm a Williams, so I'm scrolling all the way to the bottom, and bam, there's my name. And I'm like, yeah, there we go.
Did you have one of those video moments of like flipping the chair, jumping up and down, like, oh
I think I started screaming. Honestly, I think I did. And at this point, my score is expired for some states, so it's not I can transfer it, but I was able to score high enough to practice in any jurisdiction in the United States.
Okay.
So it's like I didn't have to really worry about it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was like, okay, I can transfer my score. Like, I'm good. I don't have to see this test again. Mm-hmm. I don't want to see this test again.
Good. Well, of course, we've already celebrated this, but for those, congratulations again. 3 years later?
3 years later.
On that amazing accomplishment. So let's talk career path post law school. Mm-hmm. What has that been for you?
So right out of law school, took the bar. I think 2 weeks after I took it, which is a mistake. If you take the bar, take a break. But I started my clerkship, a judicial clerkship. So, and at the time, my judge was a chief admin of General Sessions, and General Sessions is criminal stuff.
Okay.
So he was like the trial judge. So we stayed in trials. We stayed doing like pleas and motions, which is our non-jury stuff. So I was on the bench with him from August of 2022 to August of 2023.
Okay.
And then after that, I started as a prosecutor in Lexington, and now I'm a prosecutor in Orangeburg.
Okay. So you were his law clerk during a very high profile case that was televised nationally, all the buzz, all the things. How did that feel for you, being fresh out of law school and you're on TV?
Yeah. It was nerve-wracking. I didn't know that he didn't know he was going to have it, but he was assigned to it. It's not his first high-profile case. He's done a number of high-profile cases in his tenure as a judge. So it wasn't anything new for him, but I think it having such large national attention made it something different. Mm-hmm. For me, I had no idea. Like, I'm like, I just need to do my job.
Yeah.
But it does take a different level of attention to detail, of focus, remembering that there are cameras and my face talks for me. And so I had to be like, face, you don't get to talk while we're actively on the bench. Mm-hmm. And there are actual clips where you see that slip. And I'm like, oops. And, you know, there are tweets about it and things, but it was, yeah. There are definitely tweets about it. It's a surreal.
About your face?
Yeah. People thought I was great. They thought I was fantastic. Mm-hmm. They were like, she's on it.
I was going to say, because my brother's like, is that Gabby on TV? And I was like, yeah, that's Gabby.
Yeah. You just have to be on it. I talked with another judge prior to us starting that trial. And she gave me a really good pep talk about what it means to handle high profile. It's different only because there are cameras watching, but the way that you're supposed to work diligently regardless of the case is the same thing that we do. But I had to anticipate my judge's needs a lot more than I would, simply because, you know, if someone's objecting and we need a quick reference to law or pull up the rules really quickly, I had to be ready. Mm-hmm. So I'm having to constantly listen to the questions, to the answers, the objections, to understand, is this going to be admissible? Is this not? And sometimes we would get off the bench and he'd be like, can I let it in? And I'm like, yes or no. And so it was just a great learning experience. I've learned a lot from him and a lot generally. I tell people all the time, they're like, oh, that was such a cool trial. Like, you sat there for 6 weeks. Like, how was that? I'm like, you guys don't understand. We were in trials for months leading up to it. So that was a double murder. We did 2 double murders prior to starting that trial. And it was just back to back to back. And then when that trial was over, that next Monday, we were in the next county working. So it wasn't like one of those, wow, we can take a breather. We just kept rolling.
So for those that are not that well versed in the area of law, what were your, in a nutshell, overall responsibilities as a law clerk, not just in that case, but as a law clerk in general?
I usually am the intermediary. I shouldn't say usually. We are the intermediaries between the bar and the judge. So I'm in constant communication with attorneys. We're in communication with different court staff to see what our schedule is for that week. So if we're set to be in one county, we have to reach out the week prior to be like, what's on our schedule? What's on the docket? What are we going to be doing? It's research. It's some people argue with their judge. And we would go back and forth about certain things. And it's, understanding the law.
And the back and forth or the argument is just the making sure that whatever is being done or decided is in alignment with what the law is, like based on your research and
right.
Okay.
Right. And I should say arguing lightly, because I will say he knows case law like the back of his hand. And he can pull out a case. He's like, yeah, there's this one case with these facts and blah, blah, blah. And we're like, why do you know that? But it is having those conversations about this is what the law says. This is how it fits into this factual scenario. It's the listening. It's the engaging. It's a lot of really good skills, how to communicate verbally, how to communicate over the phone, in an email, how to say, I don't think you're right. And here's why I don't think you're right. And we can disagree about that. Interpreting law. Yeah.
Okay. Did you enjoy that experience?
Yes. If I could do it again, I would.
Okay.
But I don't know if I want to do it with anyone else. He's my judge bestie, I guess. So we had a really good working relationship, and that made the job really good.
Okay. And so then in 2023, you started as a prosecutor initially in Lexington, then matriculated, moved over, shifted to Orangeburg. How has your time as a prosecutor been?
It's yeah. Yeah.
I mean, you watch Perry Mason, Matlock, all the things. So it's where you are right now, everything that you thought it'd be.
They lied to me.
They lied to you.
Perry Mason never lost a case. Not that I know of. My grandma might correct me, but I'm pretty sure Perry Mason never lost a case. And we talk about how there are these Perry Mason moments, because in the show, the people will be on the witness stand, and Perry Mason's doing his thing. He's grilling them. Questions are fire. And the person's like, all right, I did it. That does not happen. Even when the person confesses with law enforcement, sometimes they're like, nah, that wasn't me.
Then they get in court and it's like,
that definitely wasn't me. And you're like, cool. But,
okay.
All right. That's fantastic. I was a law clerk during law school at a solicitor's office, so I kind of got to see it. But there's a huge difference when it's your name that's on the case file. The workload's insane. Dealing with people every day is insane, and I am a limited people person. It has its... and I reach that threshold every day. And so it's a lot more people job than probably that fits my personality all the time.
Because would you describe yourself as an introvert more than
probably
extrovert?
Yeah. Someone's like, you're an introvert with extroverted qualities or tendencies. Absolutely. 100%. But I do be like, all right, enough of that. But it's a lot of talking. It's still a lot of reading with case files. It is... Honestly, our job is split between being lawyers and counselors when it comes down to dealing with victims. And that's not something I was prepared for. But my boss says I have the personality for it to handle victims well. So we ride. And we vibe. But it isn't what I thought, but I wouldn't do anything else right now.
I like that. And life is like that sometimes. We find ourselves in places that even if it was what we thought we desired, it's nothing like we thought it was going to be, but it's everything we needed to be.
Right.
So that's pretty cool that in spite of it not looking like your Perry Mason dream, it's still very fulfilling as a career.
Yeah.
We've been able to talk about during, at some point in your young adult journey, you decided on your own to be proactive about your mental health. And I like to say it that way because people think that you go to therapy because something is wrong, and that is not the case. I was actually talking to another guest. Mental health is just as important as physical health. So you do therapy to care for your mental health, to so that you don't fall into the case if there was an issue of mental illness. So we do physical health to curtail physical illness, same thing for mental health. So you decided to be proactive and start therapy. What led you to that journey, and how has that been for you?
I was in law school. I probably started, my very first therapist ever for a very brief period of time was in undergrad, but I will say it probably catapulted in law school. And the thing about law school, I said it was phenomenal, but it takes a lot out of you physically, mentally, and emotionally. And by the end of my first year, really my first semester was normal. Then COVID happened and we were online for school for the semester, and then trying to like integrate back into being around each other and doing law school outside the crutches of online and the parameters they made so it would be a little bit easier for this weird time we were in. But I realized I was not well. It's easy to just focus on school, but when your school starts to slack and that's the only thing you're really supposed to be doing, and everything else is like, what is going on? Everything feels blah. It's like, why are we here? What are we doing? I don't want to do this today. In fact, I don't want to do this forever. So I was like, okay, something is not right. And the main campus, we're part of Columbia, South Carolina State, whatever, University of South Carolina. So we were able to use the mental health services. And I went in there and I was nervous, and you go through those questionnaires and you're like, okay, let me answer honestly. And the lady says to me, the triage lady, she says, there's nothing wrong with you. I said, oh. I said, I'm pretty sure there is. She was like, nah, you're just going through what most, graduate students go through, law school, doctors, whatever. It's, you need to make time to go to movies with your friends more. I see those fools every day. It's not helping.
I need something else, and I know that I came here for something else.
Like, lady, I know if I'm fine. Like, I'm not fine. I talked to. She used to be a dean of something. Dean Palmer. She was great. I talked to her and I said, I know I'm not okay. And the lady told me that I'm fine. I don't feel like I'm fine. And then eventually, the school got its own counselor for law students.
Okay.
And as soon as we got a counselor for law students, she was slammed. I'm like booked immediately because so many people in law school are struggling. And I'm not saying all law schools do this, but a lot of events that we're pushed to go to, the grabber is it's an open bar. So we got substance abuse issues, we got mental health issues. We are just not well. We're locked into school all the time. We are focused on, we don't want to mess up in class. We don't want to fumble this cold call. I don't want to be unprepared. So there's anxiety. There's those questions of like, do I belong here? Like, what's going on? Or just that natural imbalance that can lead you to mild or like severe depressive episodes. So I was like, okay, like I'm not well. And I couldn't get in. Like I couldn't get a spot. And I was like, y'all want me to off myself, don't you? I know it, but it's like that. But like,
right.
It's like, okay, but I emailed again and they were like, you've asked, there are people on the waiting list who haven't responded. You can just slide on it. So our first law school therapist is the one where I realized that I experienced very interesting fluctuations in my moods. Like, but I spent a lot of time kind of what they call depressive episodes, just very low, no energy, not really feeling it, whatever. I thought I was going for my moods. I really did. And I thought that it was just a hard law school experience, but I learned a whole lot about myself. And I realized that for as good as life has been for me growing up, there were moments that changed, like those core memories that actually affected who I was and how I was pretty much presenting myself in the world. And so I stayed with therapy. But the law school is like, you only get them during the school year. So in the summer months, it's like, you better take what you learned, keep that in your pocket and keep going. But once I graduated and I was in that transitionary period of like, I'm an adult, but like, this is my first time in the real world, which I don't recommend. It's not optional.
Listen, you are 28.
It's not optional.
We all reach that point of like, how did I get here and how can I go back?
I never asked for this.
We none of us.
Yeah.
None of us.
No,
do.
I didn't want this. This is not.
It is being grown at its finest, and you're doing a great job at it.
Well, thank you, because I don't feel that way, but thank you.
I know you don't want to.
Yeah, no, I don't.
Yeah.
I've expressed that since I got here.
Full-time job.
Yeah.
Full-time bills.
Yeah.
All the things.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember Facebook.
And your face just told me that you don't care at all.
I don't. I remember a Facebook post I had when I was in my early 20s. Like, if you're looking for consistency in your life, it comes with bills. If you're ever wondering, is something going to stick around? It's bills.
Yeah.
They'll come.
Yeah.
Monthly, on
Faithfully.
time. Never miss them.
Faithfully.
Not.
Listen.
Yeah. They're like, hey, I'm back.
I will never forget being in, I think I was probably late 20s. And I'm thinking, like, why are these things coming every month? And why is my name on them every time? Like,
who put me there?
Nobody told me that it's going to be like this. Like, this shouldn't be happening. But
Yeah.
kind of in that stream now.
Don't like it. But I was in a very much transitionary period, and I talked to my friend Ariana once because I was really struggling. And I was like, I don't know what are my goals anymore. I don't know what there is to accomplish, because since 7th grade, it's you get through middle school to get to high school. You got to get through high school to get to college. Once you're in college, you're going to go to law school, and now you're a lawyer. But now what? And I had no idea how to answer that question, because I actually still don't know. I don't know what the now what is. And it was hard to be in a situation where I'm used to things being really easy. I just thank God. I'm used to not having to struggle to think about things to get through things. I'm like, I can do it, it's done. And if it gets too hard, I ain't gonna do it no more, and I'm gonna throw in the towel. But I can't throw in the towel and be an adult.
Can't.
It's not an option.
It's
not an option. So I had to I've learned a lot. I've been in therapy now consistently since 2023. Like, me and my therapist are locked in. Like, we're besties. Like, she's had to move to Colorado, but now we're virtual, so we're still together. But it's been one of those, I understand myself very well. I understand why I react to certain things very well. I understand my dynamics in my family very well. I can see things in them that I'm like, oh, we should all go to therapy. But because we're not, I need to do something different than what you're doing, or different than what you had the tools to handle when you were in whatever you were in. It's probably made me more gracious, more compassionate, and just, I wouldn't be who I am right now if I hadn't gone to therapy in law school.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I actually wore this T-shirt tonight on purpose, even though it's the same one that's up on the wall, because you know, I know that you've been very proactive about your therapy journey. So when you hear boundaries, because that's oftentimes something that is not in our vocabulary until we get the tools that we get in therapy to know that, yeah, you should have some.
Yeah.
And you have to enforce them. What do boundaries mean to you?
So my take on boundaries now is that boundaries control my behavior.
Okay.
And so if I say to someone, and I love it, the difference between boundaries, rules, and conditions. And so with boundaries,
rules, and conditions. Okay.
Yes, with boundaries, I learned this. It wasn't from here. I did learn it. With boundaries, it's I won't allow a certain behavior, or I won't allow a thing to happen, and I stay. So if I don't like being yelled at, and I try not to yell at people. So if someone's yelling at me, I'm not going to continue this conversation if you're going to speak at that volume. Okay. And if you're not going to change the volume at which you're speaking, I'm going to walk away. Okay. Or I'm not going to allow myself to be treated this way. So if you can't treat me to the extent or the level that I believe I deserve, that I'm not going to stay. If this job no longer serves me and it's taking from me mentally and emotionally in a way that's not productive to my well-being, I can't stay here. So my friends think I'm strict. They're like, you set them, and they waver, and I think that's human nature, especially in like relationships. Boundaries kind of get soft, but I've come to a point where it's like I've worked really hard to be the person that I am right now, and I love every version of me that got me here, but because I did the work to be right here, I can't let someone else come in and do what they want to do, and then I'm left trying to pick up the pieces. That I cannot afford to do. Yeah.
I like that. So since we didn't really theme this interview, I said it could kind of be like a Life Speaks interview. And typically if I'm doing Life Speaks, I'll ask people if they have a moment of divine providence, God intervening in their lives. And it's like, I know that was nobody but God. There's no other explanation for it other than his intervention. But I also, you're getting the opportunity to choose, like you're getting all the special treatment on this little ad hoc interview we're doing. So you can either do a Life Speaks moment if you feel like you have one, or I ask people, because I have Embrace Your Journey on the wall, which is also very pertinent to my personal journey, because you just end up in moments kind of like what we talked about before, that it wasn't really what you planned for your life per se, but God directed your steps or ordered your steps right to where you needed to be. So instead of fighting the transition, embracing the journey and, you know, enjoying the beauty of what he brings. So when you either think about a divine providence moment or when you think about embrace your journey, do you have a specific example of divine providence, or do you want to talk about what embrace your journey may mean to you? And I know you got a lot more journeying to do at 28, but but you've had some amazing experiences thus far.
I will probably lean towards the embrace your journey side of things, because I've had to just embrace the journey of life. My mom will speak to this. I don't do uncertainty well, especially when it comes to finances. I don't like for things to look funny. I like to have answers. I like for things to be logical. A plus B has to equal C. There's no option for F and G to come into play. But a part of it is being okay with not having the certainty.
Right.
I think my ultimate where I am now is what I planned on at the offset. Like I wanted to be a lawyer. I wanted to be a trial advocate. I'm here now, and that's what I do. I think the little side quests and plots of life were not what I expected at all, and having to navigate those and being okay with the low moments as much as the high moments. That's why Ecclesiastes is my favorite book in the Bible. People get really like weirded out because it is a little bit darker in theme. It's not very happy-go-lucky. It's not the sun will come out tomorrow. It's not the encouraging wisdom of Proverbs and Psalms. Ecclesiastes is real. And I think Ecclesiastes taught me that really none of it has meaning. However, everything has meaning.
Yeah.
And so, do the low moments make sense? No. But from the low moments, I've learned a lot about myself and I've grown. And a part of embracing the journey is I can't even look to my neighbor and be like, what's your journey like?
Yeah.
Because their path looks so different and the steps are so different. How they're getting to where they've gotten is so different. Like I think about people I looked at in law school and I was like, dang, they seem to really got this thing figured out. Like the whole time they're like, I have nothing figured out. And so I've had to solely be focused on myself, be totally okay with things not being logical. And just being the most Gabby that Gabby can be. Being the Gabbiest Gabby that ever Gabby. That ever Gabby. And all the Gabbies in the planet like I am. At this point, at 28, I'm probably my most authentic self than I've ever been in all the 28 years. All the 28. And I hope by the time I get 30, I'm so disgustingly authentic. That's just like, God. Yeah.
I love that for you.
Yeah.
So we're getting close to wrapping up, so only a few more questions or thoughts. How's it been being my goddaughter these years?
It's been great. Like, it has been. I think it surprises me that I live in Colombia because I spent my summers in Colombia, and I was like, I ain't coming back to Colombia. You can't pay me to come back. But we've had fun over the years, and I think it has been, like, we always have good conversations. We can share music. We can talk about books. We can talk about life. I don't know. As adult me is like, yeah, it's fantastic. I don't know what little kid me felt like, because I got some whoopings back in the day.
Did I whoop you? If anyone in the law, you're in the law field, you can't say I whooped you. Well, I guess it's...
I can say it.
Did I?
I got a couple of spankings.
Probably very mild spankings then. I don't feel like I whipped you.
No, I didn't think I got beat or anything like that.
Okay.
Yeah, no, not like that. But I did get a full, I got a little.
Probably you and DJ doing something.
Yeah.
Okay. For reference, she spent many summers with me in Colombia, and my roommate at the time had a son her age, and you know, they were kind of summer besties. They went to camp together, so probably if you got in trouble for anything, probably it was y'all.
Yeah, we were together
doing something.
Yeah, no, but it's been good. I mean, I've learned a lot. It's funny when I think about the people who thought that I was yours biologically, because we are very similar. And Yeah, it's been good. It's good to have, now that I'm a godmom, it's good to have a good example of what that looks like, even if I don't have to take on the full raising responsibility of a little person, which thank God I don't. But I know how to be a part of that. Yeah. So, yeah. I'm the lucky one here.
Oh, do you have any highlights or favorite memories? 'Cause I was trying to think. We've done a lot.
We've
so
done
I'm
a
like,
lot because you were my first flight. You, I mean, you formatted my book and got it published and things. We've been to Starbucks so many times.
So many times.
Yeah.
We ate sushi together so many times.
So many times. Making lasagna. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, we've done all.
But you've kind of like surpassed me in the cooking.
You
like,
think so?
You bake. I don't bake.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, you've taken on another cooking level.
That's okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Very proud of you though.
Thank you.
Extremely proud of you.
Thank you.
Yeah. You've done well. So, we do want you to share some encouragement or wisdom. We have a camera set up there. I think you've shared a wealth of knowledge here just in sharing the parts of your journey that you've shared, but there may be another prototype of a little Gabby that, doesn't believe that she can achieve what it is that she desired to be in the 7th grade. Maybe she's in high school now, uncertain about what that's going to look like. So whether it's from the perspective of preparing for college and doing some of the things that you wrote about in your book, or navigating, the undergrad and post-undergrad life, what would you say to another young woman that is on the brink of becoming a later teen or young adult and navigating those spaces?
Yeah, I got it.
Yep, look there for us.
Fantastic. The first thing I immediately thought of is that what seems really big now probably won't be significant later. I remember freaking out about a lot of things at that younger age that I thought this was the end of my life, this is it. And now at 28, I probably don't remember it, or it really wasn't that big of a deal. And so whatever it is that you've set your mind to, whether the circumstances don't look like it's going to work out, I'm a firm believer that if the desire is there, it's meant to be. And no matter what comes your way, if you keep at it, it's going to work out. There's no reason that I, as a first-gen student, came out of undergrad without any student loans. There isn't any reason for me to go through law school and have the network and be where I am currently if we talk about the odds of being raised by a single mom who really did everything that she could to make sure that we had the best life. The odds in that regard would be stacked against you. But if the desire is there, you gotta keep going. And if you take on that mindset that what is for me, then nothing can miss you. If an opportunity didn't work out, it wasn't for you. If an opportunity opened a door to the next thing, then you take it wholeheartedly. But you have to remember, this is what I want to do. I'm going to keep at it, and there's nothing that's going to stop me. Life is going to do what life does. In fact, I think life has hands. You couldn't tell me otherwise that life is not personified with hands.
Life is throwing hands.
It is all the time, but you find it in you to fight back, and your community helps you fight back. And having mentors, having godmoms, having teachers, having people who can encourage you even when it doesn't look great is going to make all the difference. And if you're afraid to talk to people, just talk to them. I don't like it, but I highly encourage it because it has made all the difference in not only who I am, but exactly where I've gotten. And if you know that there's a place, I think I talk about this in the book, if you know there is a particular career field, there is this particular person that you want to get more information on before you get there, just ask. What is it? You seek and you'll find.
You talking about the scripture?
Yeah, you ask and you're going to get the answer.
Yep. Asking it shall be given, seeking you shall find, knocking the door shall be open.
And what I love about that one is that it's for those who knock, because some people ain't knocking at the door. You got to go knock at the door, and you got to go get it. You've got to put your feet to the ground, because things don't fall out of the sky. I think God is amazing in the fact that he really will bless you and give you everything that you need, but you got to work it. And you really do got to work what you got, and when you work what you got, everything else follows. Yeah.
Look at you. Girl, come on now. Listen.
That
Okay.
JD.
Okay. I love it. I'm like swelling up on the inside because like you just like poured out all of that greatness and like I remember you as a little baby. Now you're like fully 28 and
Yeah.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So my staple question, which I'm like, I cannot wait to ask her this question because I know your answer is going to be probably different than anybody else's. I'm like so super excited to ask you this just because I don't even know what you're going to say.
Okay. I don't know either.
I know because you don't. I don't know. My staple question. So my staple question. You know I love music. We love music.
Absolutely.
You surpassed me probably in loving music, but it's just our thing. So if you had to name a song that describes this season of your life, what song is that and why?
The song, like, am I picking a song I know or naming a song?
What do you mean? What's it?
Like, is it a song that exists, or I'm saying if I had a song?
No, it's a current song. Yeah, it's a song and an artist.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, this is perfect because I would say "Baby Steps" by Olivia Dean.
Like we've never heard that on the show,
yeah,
and I
yeah.
knew she was going to say something.
Yeah.
Is that the lady you just sent me?
Yeah, one of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know you sent me something the other night.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay, I'm going to go listen to it. Baby Steps by Olivia Dean.
Yeah.
Why that song since I haven't listened to it?
The premise of that song is pretty much just you're having to take life day by day, and so part of the song makes me believe that something happened, that either it was a transition or something ended in a way that maybe she didn't expect, and you have to rebuild up from that moment. Instead of staying stuck where it is, you literally take baby steps. One of the lyrics is that she literally says it's learning how to balance. You know, life has its good and its bad days. It has its high and its low moments, and you have to take them for what they are, and then just keep going. And I used to tell myself, even with school, it was, well, we got to graduate. That's too big of a step. We got to get through today. And if I can't get through today, at least can I get through the next minute? Or can I get through the next second? And it's literally baby steps. And
Okay.
so, yeah, I that song resonates.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love it. Thank you for sharing. I don't know if you want people, I typically ask my guests if they want people to follow them and all those things on social media. You know, I know in what you do, you probably don't want too many people in your life and your world. However, we will share how they can get the book for sure.
Yes.
Are you solely selling those on Amazon now?
Yes.
Okay. Is there anything else that you want to share that you may have that people might be interested in, or a platform that you may want people to be able to connect with you on? If not, I'm perfectly fine. You don't have to.
I mean, I'm everywhere. I'm everywhere, and you can find me. I don't really post. I don't think I post a whole lot, though. I mean, you think I post a lot? I don't think I post a whole lot.
You share stories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's not. I mean, and my professional life is pretty private outside of the professional world, so it's not much that they can find there. But I mean, if they want to follow,
okay,
they can.
So what platforms would you like for them to follow you on, and what handles would you like to share? Because we'll put those up on
Do
the
I
screen.
even know them?
So I think your IG just changed again. I'm like, she loved changing this IG handle.
Hey, it was the same for like
It was
20
the
years.
same for a long time.
my Instagram currently is _Gabrielle.TW_.
Okay.
My TikTok, you just have to find me if you find me.
Okay. So we'll just post the IG.
Yeah, I'm about to say, I don't even know.
We'll leave it at that one. And if she desires to connect, but you definitely will have the information on getting the book, and it's highly, highly recommended. If you have teenagers in your life that you love, that you care about, that you know they plan to pursue a collegiate journey, this is a very, very reasonably priced tool that can make a huge, huge impact and difference in their life. So after connecting with her, as always, follow me, Facebook, Simply Tammy. But most importantly, subscribe on YouTube if you haven't already subscribed. We're going to keep these episodes coming as long and as often as we can. So make sure you stay connected. I think what we're sharing, it's a wealth of information. And the fact that I've now had my youngest guest and probably closest to being family with me as a guest, which is why I'm so casual. I meant to say this in the beginning. Yes, I have this hoodie over my lap because I got on leggings. Because I wanted to wear the t-shirt and I thought the leggings would look okay on the couch. Then I sat down and I was like, ooh, I don't like the way this look. So I'm going to put this hoodie because I am promoting Life Speaks Always, and it matches Gabby. So, yep. Both of these are for sale on my website. You can get them. So yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
This was special. Oh my God, special like.
Specialize.
Specialize. That's like our song. You probably don't ever want to be around us if that song comes on because it becomes a whole moment.
It does.
But yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for staying connected. And as always, until next time.